Great. So welcome, Letitia. It's so great to have you today and to be working together on your project. I've already seen the wireframe that you made, but I would love if you could just tell me a little bit about um, yourself and your journey so far and the app that you're making.
Well, I'm a psychologist and a teacher, early childhood educator, and I was living for 4.5 years in Egypt, in the middle of nowhere in the desert. I was homeschooling two boys there, and that's pretty much where it all started because I was teaching a 6 and a 4-year-old boy, and they were just amazing. We were just running around in nature all day. We didn't have any formal classes, and nowadays they are both reading and writing and doing calculations by hand and knowing like complex concepts of science and all. And this really made me believe even more in what I believe for education nowadays, which is children can learn in their own pace. They can learn free in nature. They don't need to be between four walls all the time, and we are very disconnected from it in the city life.
Wow,
So
cool. That's such a. I resonate with that completely.
that was the shortest version I've managed to do in my life.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I would love to work together with you on this project and see where we can vibe and work together on it. Tell me a bit about your experience in making apps so far and
Ooh.
yeah.
That's, no, yeah. I'm not a tech person, so that was a trap for you. But I've tried exploring a little bit in Bubble, which
Cool.
was the proposal from the cohort of the mentorship I'm going, no dress code.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't. Halfway through this, me and my group, we were like having trouble, so we put aside our project and we start trying to do some tutorials on Bubble to get acquaintance with the tool.
Yeah.
So with Learning Barefoot, which is the name of my platform, by the way, we didn't develop much, to be honest.
Okay. That's fine. What was your impression from Bubble so far? Like what were the pros and the cons that you found in it?
I found it can be, at the beginning, it can look very intuitive, and that
Hmm.
made me feel a bit confident maybe in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then at some point, maybe like something doesn't work in the end, and then you have to find it's so intuitive that you just go like that.
Hmm.
And then when something doesn't work, you need to find it, and it's a big hassle.
Yeah, so it's very easy to like add new pages and add new like user interface elements, but once you get to the point of like logic,
Hmm.
is that where things kind of get confusing?
Yeah.
Cool. I've had that sort of experience myself when my friend showed me how to use Bubble. There's just like so many items in the menus. Um, he said he said it really takes someone months to become like good at using Bubble. Um, but no worries. I think we can figure out a lot of stuff together, especially because um, it's like a gradual process to make an app like this. So we can start with something simple and then add some more features. Um, I've looked at like a couple different options for making mobile apps because I think you want to make yours available on mobile, right?
Well, if it makes more sense to be a mobile app, at first it can already be, but if it's easier and maybe we can have more functionalities by doing it desktop at first, I don't mind.
How do you picture that people will be using your first users will be using it?
Well, obviously, I think they are going to be doing it on mobile anyway. So either it's an app or desktop. I think it has to be focused on mobile version.
Okay. Yeah, then we should make sure that the first version can run on an iPhone or an Android. Does
Yeah,
do you have any most people just say both, right? You probably want to
yeah.
have it.
Like
Yeah.
I am at the moment an Android user, but most of the parents I've been dealing with are using iPhone as well. So it's
Okay, cool. Then I think like for today, I don't want to be super ambitious for today because the hardest thing that we have to do, and I've been thinking about this a lot too is we have to decide what platform we want to use. Like if we want to use either Flutter, Flow, or Thunkable, and I'll show both of them to you, and then really I think we should just, if you want to, we should just keep working on this, like maybe meet like once a week and just like keep checking in, and then maybe if your classmates are sorry if your cohort mates are also interested, we can sort of share ideas and collaborate and maybe work with them a little bit too, because
Hmm.
group
That
of
would be
us.
amazing. Literally, I was talking about this with them yesterday. That would be nice also to have this collaboration.
Yeah, with a group of us, we're going to figure out stuff very quickly. I can help by basically, helping to think along, software engineering mindset. But there's so many, but I'm not an expert in these tools. I mainly was a coder before, so I need a lot of help finding all of the right buttons and things to click on. So
It's like
um,
playing a game. We're together then.
it's perfect. Um, could you show me what you've done so far in Bubble? Um, F.
Not really, to be honest. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because we are also working collaboratively, but Bubble doesn't share a project, so each one of us were working their own accounts.
Oh yeah.
And on mine specifically, we were having a live workshop, and I started doing what was there, but I didn't start in learning barefoot specifically.
Okay. So how about Figma, right?
No, yeah, I've made the prototype. I think you've seen it,
Yeah.
but it was on Marvel.
Oh, what's it called again? Marvel?
Marvel,
Yeah, can you uh
sure.
yeah,
Let
can we
me
walk through
let me
that one?
give you the link a second.
You can actually share your screen or share a window here.
Perfect. So, mm, present. There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Cool. Thank
Okay, so first things first, I know nothing about developing, so that was from my heart, and I don't know what is really possible to do or not. So I would love a feedback as well.
Sure. So this is like a wireframing prototyping tool, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like
It looks
it has the functionalities more or less, but just for showcase.
cool.
So the idea is that we have a platform where the parents can subscribe, and when they first subscribe, they can put the details of their children, so age group, the core interest they have. So obviously not that crowded in the screen, but that was just for so I will see if I can zoom in.
Yeah.
So the core interest, so it will be like arts and science and maths and yoga and sustainability, emotional intelligence, and so on.
Hmm.
um so also it's important that they tell us what kind of space and environment they live in, so we can also, I don't know how this would work in the future, but I imagine some type of algorithm and to recommend the right type of activities for them.
Hmm.
So they would say, I live on a beach, I live in the desert, I live near a forest, it rains a lot, it doesn't rain at all.
Mm.
And similarly to Duolingo, then they would also be have the possibility to say how committed they are with this goal of getting like closer to nature. So, oh, I want to be doing it 3 times a week. I want to be doing it every day. And very important for me, at least from my experience as a teacher, not every kid has the same level of independence. So also this will dictate more or less the type of activities they can do with the parents or by themselves.
Yeah.
So when they create their account, zoom out. When they create their account, this is kind of like that
Hmm.
is my ambitious idea, let's say. But this is kind of like a path. Like in Duolingo, you have your bubbles and you go growing according to the things you do. The
Yeah.
idea would be, well, since we're talking about nature and children, to be like from a little seed to a forest according to how many activities you log in. So you have like a tracker kind of thing, and a tool for journaling maybe inside the app at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and where they can just like log the activities they are doing with the children. Maybe they can post pictures if they want or not.
Mm-hmm.
And with this tracker and with the suggested activities, this forest will be growing like their journey in the app.
I
And
where did
sorry,
you where did you come up with the artwork for that? Did you make it?
yeah. I mean, like these are just like free clips in the Marvel app.
Great. Oh, looks good. Okay.
Yeah, I like creating and designing random stuff, although I cannot make it work for real.
Cool.
So, sorry. This tab in the middle will be the tab Play. It's where parents or educators or whoever is using the app can find activities if they don't want to use only the recommended ones. They can come here and they can vote filters like the length of the activity, the subject, and it's going to recommend some. So it's going to say that the duration of the activity, the age they are recommended for, and everything. So these are just random pictures from my time teaching in Egypt.
Cool.
So you have like science, mathematics, gardening, yoga.
Cool.
And well, when you click an activity, you would have then like the benefits. So it would just not be like do that. It would be something also, I think, connecting with my background in psychology and education. So like what is it recommended for? What are the benefits for the development and everything? Well, I will make it shorter. Sorry, I get super excited talking about it. And when parents click that they did it, now again another reference similarly to Spotify, you can say, oh, I liked it, I didn't like it so much, tell us a bit more, to also personalize even more their journey in the app.
So one
And
question, mainly
yeah,
for you, is it going to be mainly the parents that are going to be using the app?
at first I imagine the first kind of customers parents,
I see.
and I think that would be like mainly homeschooling parents, but I don't know for sure. But the idea is that it would be available for educators as well, or for
Yeah.
maybe child minders.
Cool.
That's well, they can. I would like that they could also save their activities and as access it later, so they don't need to be always looking for it. Because I also know parents usually just take a half an hour after dinner to take a look at it. They don't have much more time.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the last tab would be an explorer, so very like integrated with some map tool from their area.
Hmm.
And just in like hikes, parks, events related to nature in the area. Maybe in the future, at some point, they could connect with other parents doing the same.
Yeah. Cool. Have you ever used the All Trails app?
No, sorry, I didn't even understand the name. Sorry.
Oh, All Trails, ALLT.
No.
It's like it's kind of reminding me, but that one's just for finding hiking spots.
Is it an app or a
Yeah,
website?
it's
No,
very
I
it's both.
haven't.
It's
Nice. I,
both.
I even noted because I love hiking. I would take a look.
Yeah. But maybe we can also look at that for some inspiration too. Um, cool. Um, yeah. So I guess part of your big challenge is to come up with the initial library of activities, right?
Yeah,
So
and it's mainly organizing it. I kind of have a whole bunch of stuff everywhere.
So you want to be able to easily organize that, and you probably don't want to be spending all of your time making the app. You want to try and have enough time that you can also make the activities too, right?
Yes.
Because I think that's like
Yeah, that's my expertise. Like, my dream is to have a platform to put it out there and connect with other people. But my only expertise is the
mm,
activities itself,
okay.
themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, there are so I'm trying to just think of like all of the possible ways that we could make an app like this. Um, I've used a few different I've used a few different options, and I think like yeah, initially I just want to think like what's the easiest way that we can take your catalog and then get that out to people. How are you organizing it now? Is it in like Word documents or spreadsheet?
It's everywhere. I have lots of them in my drive, like in different folders, because I was categorizing it at some point before. But nowadays I literally just have time to put some work on that, like take all my notebooks and everything and start digitalizing it.
Yeah. So I think at some point we're going to make a database, and
Mm-hmm.
making a database is easy. Making it so that it's easy for you to put in text and then format it nicely, that would be a little bit more of a something that we have to think about. So let me share my screen,
Yeah.
and we'll share just like a new window, and I'll just like go through a few of the things that I've used before. One of the things that occurred to me, so just like some of the very, very basic options, which I think are too basic, but just to start. So this one I use called Google App Sheet. And the idea of Google App Sheet is that um, you basically take a spreadsheet
Mm-hmm.
and that you convert that spreadsheet into an app. So it's pretty much just trying to see if they have some better examples. Maybe under templates helps a lot. So it's pretty much just a database app. Now, my experience with this was mixed. I found it's really easy to start from a Google Sheet, which is probably the main advantage. But then, like when it comes to like adding functionality and like for example making like a pop-up or something like that, I'm not really sure that it would be able to do that. And then the UI is pretty basic here. So I think this one might be too simple, but I just wanted to start out by that. Yeah, it's a little bit, it felt a little bit buggy to me as well when I
Not
used
a great start.
it. So that was probably the first one I tried. And then another one that I tried, another one that my friends have used is Glide, which is also really powerful for building um, apps from basically databases. And this is similar. Like I think that something like this, it's actually possible to take like any database you have and then turn it into an app in like a day. Um, however, and so this might be a good backup option if we're like if nothing's working well. However, still um, I think it's not the most extensive when it comes to like functionality. I think it's mainly focused on adding and removing things into a database. Although maybe I can just look a little like this is pretty cool. Does Glide have native mobile functionality? I haven't actually built like real apps with Glide,
Mm,
and it doesn't actually. It just makes a website. So
okay.
I think this would be like a good backup option for you if you were in a rush and you were like, oh, I have like 2 days and I want to turn this database into like a really nice thing where people can browse the activities on their phone. Um, and it would be pretty easy and look pretty good, but we would miss some functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Going to, and it's easy to learn. Now going to stuff that's a little bit more complex, and also allows you to make like native, to make like real native apps. There's two that I know of. One that we've been using a lot on this channel is Flutterflow, and so that's the one that I'm the most with. But that's probably the most challenging. And then there's another one which is easier, and a friend told me about recently, called Thunkable. And these two are pretty comparable when it comes to um, functionality. This one is more, Thunkable is more about, it's got a simpler interface, and you can really just drag and drop everything. And I think it's a little bit more, let's look at the sample projects that they have. So it's like, I think it's a little bit more limited, but it's pretty good as well. So let's look at like public. They have a public gallery here. Thunkable gallery, creator gallery. Where's
Yeah, it's a bit sketchy. I was trying to take a look in the templates, and also I don't remember if it was Thunkable or for Flutterflow. You couldn't open the previews unless it was from the mobile app.
Right. Oh, really? You could. So Flutterflow, I've been able to open their preview in the website.
I think it was from Thunkable.
Interesting. How did you get to the creator gallery here?
Remember.
And then
I literally just typed on Google something like Thunkable sample projects. And then I got there somehow.
So here they have some. I've just signed in, and then here's some sample projects. And then
I got into there, and then when I click in the play preview, didn't get me much farther.
Okay.
Cool, that's working.
It could have been maybe a browser thing.
Yeah.
So this.
Oh, that's quite similar to what I show you about the activities.
This looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So now it's my first time using Thunkable, but I definitely would be willing to learn this. And I also have a friend who's made an app in Thunkable, and he's going to come on Monday and teach me how he made it. So nice. I think this is definitely a good option. Now, if we actually want to look inside how it's made, it says this is read only. So if we click to remix, then we have a version that we can edit, and then we can, go around. We can make, should be able to make our own pages. Interesting. So on Flutterflow, that there's actually like a pages. there's a tab for adding pages. I'll have to look up how to do that here, but then okay, cool. So it's kind of like Figma. They have them all here.
Okay.
On one screen, and I don't know how I can zoom out, but if I would be able to here zoom out, you can see. Wow, I like that. So this is new to me, but I'm definitely willing to learn it. And then I also think I asked you to look a bit at the Flutterflow templates, right? Were there any templates that you really liked?
I kind of, because the idea, as I show you, and I know sometimes I can be all over the place. So my idea mixes a lot of little things. So I think a couple templates that would fit in different parts of my platform.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing about the templates. I always feel like I need like a few of them mixed together. It's hard to choose one. Which ones were those?
I remember it now. I didn't come so prepared. I'm sorry,
That's okay.
but I remember from my head now. There was one from a meal planner, I guess, that called my
Mhm.
attention. Um, I'm not sure now if we will find, but it was one of the first ones that showed to me. But
Was it
exactly as well because of the way they were showing the things, and it looked a bit similar to how I imagined the app at first.
okay?
But yeah,
So
also I was kind of looking for what I could drag from things that could be similar.
yeah, um,
No,
and
let me
my
see.
intention of
That's a nice one. This seems nice. This shopping app one that you have your
yeah,
mouse on.
some of these are a little bit harder to get set up. We did one. Yeah, this looks pretty good. We did one on this channel a couple weeks ago, and it was. I wonder if it was the shopping app actually. It was really similar to this one, and it took us like an hour just to get set up. So
Mm.
so different than Thunkable, because with Flutterflow you actually need to create your database in a separate website and then connect the database. So um, that's sort of how it is. It's a bit more of a professional setup with Flutterflow. Um, with Thunkable, so the really big difference between the two is that with Thunkable, um, it's all stored on their platform, your app,
Even the database.
even the database, and
Hmm.
just like Bubble. Um, however, um, and we'll get to pricing in 1 minute, but however, if you want to if you want to leave Thunkable, then you start over. Um, however, just like with Bubble, it's the same as Bubble. It's so easy to get set up because they do your database for you. Now, Flutterflow, I think one of the reasons why Flutterflow is really different is that you can actually export your entire app as code
Mm.
if you want
And
to.
continue developing it somewhere else, you mean?
Yeah, and then you can hire a professional developer to do that. However, I think that is, that is not normally the main goal of making like an MVP.
Hmm.
So, and it also adds a lot. It adds stuff at the beginning, like you have to set up a Firebase database and connect it. Now, the main thing that I think is most important for comparing to options like this, um, Flutter, I spelled it wrong. Flutterflow is to go to pricing, just to get an idea of like what you're signing up for. So Flutterflow, so they all have a free plan, first of all, but it's key to understand what you're signing up for. So with the Thunkable free plan, you basically can make your project, you can test it, and you can. Thought I was looking at. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So with the Thunkable free plan, you can make your project, you can test it, you have plenty of storage, um, unless you need lots of images or videos. But you can only download it you can only have 2 downloads a month. So it's really just for testing and building, um, which is good to test it out. But if you really want to have like a beta test, like a beta group of people testing it, then you really need the starter plan, and
Hmm.
that's only $13, so that's fine. And then I think when you have tested it with 20 people and you want to put it publicly on the App Store, then you have to pay this $38 a month, and you pretty much have to pay that forever. which is kind of the downside. As long as, or actually, maybe you only have to. It might be possible to only pay in the months that you make updates to the app. So that's
And
something to
it's
think.
still available.
Sorry.
Like you're paying while you're doing updates to the app, but while the months you were not doing it, is it still available for
Yeah,
downloading
I
everything?
think I think that should be possible. I would want to check on that, but like because it's published to the store, um, if you like, let's say you put it out and then you go a month without publishing or 2 months without publishing, um, like turning off your Thunkable account won't delete your app from the App Store
Mm,
because the App Store is completely separate. So that's maybe good to know, but it won't like if you're updating every month, then you'll pay. If you're making changes every month, then you'll just be stuck paying this. Um, Flutterflow is kind of similar actually. Um, you have this free plan where you can build and you can test it out, and then for $30 a month, which is more like their pro plan, then you can download the code, publish it to the App Store, and they don't really limit. I don't know how you would do like beta testing with Flutterflow, but maybe I think with Flutterflow you probably need to get the standard plan before you can like download it onto people's.
Yeah, I was watching a video right before we got online. That's what I heard. For you to publish your project in Flutterflow, you have to have the standard already.
So it looks like, yeah, so it looks actually like these pricing plans are not too different to me at the end of the day. The main difference is that here in Thunkable, you have sort of like this in-between starter plan that lets you do like a beta test. And lets you do like a beta test with like a group of 20 people, 25 people, which is kind of cool. And that you don't need you don't need to publish it to the store yet. So that's probably a lot of information.
Yeah, and I'm having my mental scale right now doing like this all the time.
Yeah.
What would you recommend me? Like, what would you use for an MVP for this type of project?
Right now, based on my experience, and my experience has been I've tried out Flutterflow with about 5 people, and then I've talked to one friend that's using Thunkable. Right now, I would actually lean towards trying out Thunkable, which is more risky because I haven't built anything in it. However,
That's more fun.
yeah, first of all, that's more fun for me because I can learn something. But I also just think that Flutterflow is a steeper learning curve. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Like, apparently, from what I understood, if I want to try to do stuff on my own or learn how to do it, Thunkable is easier.
It's seeming like that to me. It's seeming like that to me.
But at the same time, whatever I do there, I cannot take out of there, right?
You can't take it out of there. However, you can take your database out of there. And I think I don't think the app will be so complicated.
And also, I think it's an MVP, right? So if in the future I want to do something more complicated, I would probably start over in another platform.
Exactly. I mean, my main goal is to help you get it to users as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So that when the users say we want something completely different, that
It's
Um,
also as fast as possible to redo it all.
yeah, exactly. um, so so yeah, I would say yeah, let's just try it, and we can we can actually maybe even on on Monday or Tuesday, if we get stuck on something, we can even ask my friend.
Cool.
Um, so cool. So now before that, let me just make like a little Google document where I can write down basically the order in which we want to actually build out different features and functionality. So here's cool. So it's called Barefoot Learning, right?
Learning barefoot.
Learning barefoot. So
Oh, I'm getting excited.
so the first thing that we probably want to have is like you showed me this login, you showed me this sign up flow,
Hmm.
and the way that you did it was initially they enter all information, click sign up, and then maybe they get an email.
Yeah.
I would just change that probably to this order,
Hmm.
just because that's more commonly done, and so it'll be easier for us to figure out. And then you also need to have sign in, and then we also want to have like way to browse or get recommended activities once we're signed in. And then after that, you have like more and more features. You have like mark activities as completed, maps, journaling. But I'd say we want to start with like basically this stuff.
Yes.
Cool. So like I said, I don't know how to use Thunkable yet, but let's just try it, and then let's both make a new project. And you can share your screen, and I'll share my screen, and then when we get stuck, then we can compare where we are.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm gonna go much far because it's all quite new for me.
What did you say? You're not sure you're gonna what?
I'm not sure I'm gonna go much far. So if we are stuck, probably you're gonna have to take us out of there.
I think you'll get further than you think, but we'll see. So so the first thing, make sure so yeah, the first thing that we'll do is we'll just try and get like a sign in page and a sign up page. And later on you can mess around and make it look better. Cool. So do you have are you signed up for Thunkable too?
Yes.
Cool. I'll just make a new project, learning barefoot demo. Okay, so category education. Oops. Oh, I wanted to show that as I was
Yeah,
doing
I
it.
think I cannot see your screen.
Yeah, let me show it again. Yeah, I always do that at least once. So yeah, so I just create a new project. Learning barefoot demo. in and create. Cool. So we both got at least this far, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna test it. So I like this interface a lot. It's like simpler than for me than Flutterflow. So the web preview.
I was listening somewhere that it was made with the I might be saying something silly, but with the Google coding language for kids. They have
Yeah.
something like that apparently,
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
Scratch or something like this.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting way to drag and drop the code. Um, so and that's like the that's I guess we'll see that in a minute or in a bit when we start like adding logic to it.
Mm-hmm.
So now um now I want to add like a sign in, and I actually don't know how to do that. So I went under.
Oh, there is a sign in here when you go in blocks.
Yeah,
I'm not
under
sure if
block.
that's what you're looking for, but
I'm
there
here.
is, yeah.
Yeah. So cool. So there's a sign in here, and then is there also like a sign up as well?
Let's find it.
Oh, here. So if I click sign in here, okay, this is what we were just talking about with the blocks, with the scratch blocks.
Mm.
So here, oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is very new for me. So under blocks, there's this thing called app features. And I think this is actually already part of our app. Here.
Oh,
I
so
think
this is what is included already.
I'm not entirely sure.
If you were confused, imagine me. I have like a huge question mark on my face.
It's fine. We can also Google this and we'll find it right away. But sometimes it's just fun to poke around.
It's
So
like playing. My app is all about playing, so
yeah. So I think I'm just gonna try dragging a button onto here. And so now I have a button. Now in Flutterflow that we would have a way to like add an action to a button. Here we would want to like add. We want to connect this to here, so interactive. Add block. Interesting. So I wonder if I click on this. That brought me to this screen. And so here, so I was here on design, and I clicked the new button. And then, so the button is selected, then I click add blocks.
Yeah, wait. For some reason, when I click in the button, it doesn't show me this side window to make it interactive.
Okay, can you share
Might be just because I'm splitting my screen. Let me try to take it out.
It should be all right. Can you share your screen or the window?
Sure. Just a second. I think I can't while you are sharing yours. At least it doesn't show me the button anymore.
Oh, really? You should have it.
Present.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's now here. It was the shared screen. No worries.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you see the ad blocks? Oh, okay. Oh, maybe the window was smaller or something.
No, yeah, I was sliding it down, I swear. Something was off.
Um, so yeah.
So now I click the sign in here.
So I want to get, yeah, I don't know. So I want to, so here there's like when button one clicked. I think possibly we need to drag this when button one clicked
Mm-hmm.
to here. And oh, interesting.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah. So I actually had this one here already, this sign up thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can actually click that in.
They kind of over layering.
Yeah. So this what I created right now, that would actually um sign up like a new user with password. Um but it's not using like any text input, it's just have them hard coded in here. Um
Mm-hmm.
well, it will be interesting for me to see if this works. Um you don't need to try this yet if you don't want to, because I don't know. I have any idea what it will do.
No,
Um,
yeah, I'm looking completely at what you're doing because I already got a bit overwhelmed.
yeah, I
The
mean,
simplest thing already got me confused. So
that's fine. Um, so here, oh, I'm still in preview mode. Okay, so I turn that off. And then if I go to data, let's do something a little different. Let's go to um, let's go to a um, Thunkable sign in tutorial. So move. Hmm. So there's like an, oh, interesting. Okay. So, okay. So looks like we might still have to set up a Firebase, a separate database for Thunkable. Um, they allow authentication with Firebase, Google, or Apple. I was kind of thinking that it would be like Bubble and that this would all be built in. Um, this definitely adds like another 30 minutes of work, but it's not, you know, um, it's not the end of things. So here's a template app that they
Mhm.
provide for Firebase. I'm going to have a look. And don't worry, you don't have to do anything yet. So this is like, this is probably a simple app that's just adding the new users into a database, and then the sign-in doesn't work. Let's have a look. So let's look at the code that they use. Okay. So I just like looking at the code for this example project, and then under blocks. Oh, let's click remix. And then under blocks, I see um mm, let's see. Okay, I'm lost.
That is so confusing for me.
Yeah. Um,
I really want to learn. I have this dream. I will learn how to make things. But when I first look, I get so confused.
yeah, that's fine. So let me go back to this like main page, and I know that this button here is supposed to sign someone up. So if I click on that, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I would think that I could see, like what it's connected to.
Mm,
Here,
they are all separate. I thought they had to be like we did before, like a puzzle.
yeah, I don't see any blocks, any actual working blocks here. So it's
Do you
possible
think
that,
that is only the like there's no functionality already done? That's just the template for the layout for the design. That would
yeah,
be a bit stupid, but
yeah, it is. This is just this is the template. This is the
oh,
template
thank you, Thunkable, for showing me how it can look like.
to start the tutorial. Um, but let's see if we scroll down. Maybe there's a cheat to the end. Okay, so don't they just have a template where we can start? So we can definitely do this, and it won't be too hard, but it will be a little
Okay.
bit boring. It will be a little boring. So I would just like to have a project that we can use right away. And so either it's going to be one of these sample screens. Let's see if there's any code in here, or if it's just, wow, okay.
Wow.
So this has
Okay.
a lot of
At the
of
same time, it makes me less confused. It makes me extremely more confused. At least
this.
these are connected, and that's what we thought they should do. But it's overwhelming. Let's know.
Yeah, this is probably a lot of this is unnecessary.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is not really fun when you just want to start your project.
No.
Um, so, um, all we need is, however,
Question. Do we
yeah,
need to start building by the place where the customer will start their journey in the app? Like, for example, do we need to start building from the sign up? Or if you already know how to do something and you think it could be more fun, we could start from there and then come back. And how does it work?
that's a good idea. Um, we can always go back and add in this. That's a good idea. We can always go back and add that in. And
Okay.
maybe that's something that, yeah, maybe that's something we can come back and do next week. Um, that's a great idea, because this isn't something that we should be the first
You
people.
didn't seem very excited about discovering this now.
It's getting less exciting the further further that we look into it.
You're like, woohoo, I will try Thunkable. And then you're like, no, this sounds very boring.
I think maybe that's part of the process. There's like a little bit of a, at the top you get start out,
Mhm.
then you start out getting really excited, and then you have like this trough of despair, and then you come out of it.
That's why, and not only this, but that's one of the reasons why I'm extremely grateful to be here with you today, to be honest. Because I was like, woohoo, I've been dreaming about this for 3 years. Let's make it happen. And then I got like, "Wow." And now I'm here again.
Yeah. It's good to go through it together with someone. So let's have a look at like what else we can do um in like a Thunkable project. We could see, it would be really cool to see how you can start putting in some data.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's something that you can already work on. and that's probably should be the most high priority thing um, right now, because um, we can always ask people for help with making the app, but you'll
Mm-hmm.
have to get data no matter what. So let's go back to this here. And so there's this thing called like data sources, and I really like this. It says continuously update your app powered by Google Sheets, Airtable, Webflow, or Local Table. So what that means is that we publish this to the App Store, and then your app on the App Store is constantly checking your Airtable or your Google Sheet to see if there's any new projects, if there's any new activities.
That's nice.
So
Kind
yeah,
of
so
self updates with the database.
exactly. So you can just one morning you can just go on and add a new row to your Google Sheet, and then it's already updated in everyone's app.
That's quite nice.
Let's let's look into that a little bit. So we have Google Sheets data source. Have you ever used Airtable?
No, I heard about it, but I haven't used it.
Yeah. The main advantage of using Airtable, I think, is that you get like you get different data types. I think Airtable could be interesting for this. Um,
I'm signing up.
yeah, let me sign into Airtable and show around. Yeah. So this is my Airtable, and I can create a new workspace, and I can call it Learning Barefoot, and then create a new base. And a base is basically a table or a spreadsheet, but it's like a little bit more fancy. And then you have, for each column, you have like a very specific type. So for example, this one is now, it's like maybe what would be an example of an activity that you wanted to have in your app?
Let's go easy, like something with yoga, legs up the wall.
Cool. What was it called?
Legs up the wall?
Legs up the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this one. Okay, cool. And then so we might want to have, so I can edit this. So this is like a field, but I can edit this field, and now it's long text. I think that would probably make sense if this is going to be the description, for example. Now, so like in this activity, you will work on your strength and balance. So I'm not sure if you can like format this text, but this is pretty helpful. And then here, what you can do is you can do like I can change this to be a single select, and then that could be, so this is like having categories,
Mm.
so I could have different different categories. It could be like like biology, math, and then here now you have like these options.
Okay.
So it's way more customizable than a Google Sheet, but otherwise it's gonna work the same.
Perfect.
I think
Well,
it's
since
really
we didn't start or digitalizing the database yet, so I will do it in Airtable.
sure. I would say it's completely up to you if you want to use Airtable or Google Sheets. I still work a bit faster in Google Sheets because there's just fewer things that I have to learn. But this is also like very, very popular choice. And then it also has like you can like, oh, so this was our category. So you can like do things like this. Like you can see like you can then
Oh,
view by
that's
category. Yeah. And this is hard to do in Google Sheets.
Mhm.
And then you can also have like you can create like
You can also export
yeah.
data from a normal Google Sheet.
Yeah, and then we can also create a form which you can then use to like enter stuff in.
Amazing.
So that's a bit different. And then Airtable is like free, is like very pretty free too. So like free for up to 1,000 records in one base. So it's probably
Perfect.
for a while. So then here I can add like a new Airtable, and this is the one we just made.
I think you're not showing your screen.
Oops. So then, oh yeah, that happens if I close the tab. So then here we can like add a new data source, Airtable, and this one should be the one. It had me select it, and okay, use a custom view or a grid. I don't know what this does yet, but I'll just try it. So now it's here. And yeah, then I'll just try and find like a way. Here's a grid view. Then I just need to find a way to connect that. Connect that to here, which is kind of the important part.
The only thing that keeps my hopes really up is that little sentence I heard that it was based on Scratch, which is the Google coding language for kids. So I said, okay, I can learn it.
Of course, you can learn. You can learn.
It's like a game. It's like playing a game. And
Yeah.
it made me excited again. So I will drop the call and I will start doing my homework for once.
For sure. We can even make a game in Scratch sometime if you want. That might be a nice break from this, which is very like yeah, it's a lot. It's very tedious.
I think when you were learning something like without a specific project in mind, it could be easier, no? Because then you were just exploring features. In this case, we already have a very specific idea.
Yeah, like when you're starting to make apps, it will get frustrating if you have like a timeline. You want to finish everything, get these features done by this time. But if you take time to like just play around, you'll discover a lot of things that you'll then like, once you learn it, you never have to go back and learn it again. So let's let's continue next week with the sign-in page and then the adding the data view in. And I'll have my friend join, so he can answer some of the questions that we had.
Perfect.
Cool.
That is super exciting. I'm super excited. That's something that I've had in my head for the past 5 years. I don't know, and it was just like this vision, and now I see it is so possible, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Thank you again for the millionth time because
Sure, of course, it's fun. We'll continue. We'll find a good time to continue next week. I'm really excited to learn how to use this new tool.
so that's amazing.
Cool. Any plans for the weekend?
Um, no, plenty of rest. To be honest, I just started working yesterday, my first night shift.
Cool.
And samba. I'm a Brazilian, by the way. So now that I'm living in Portugal and I can have access to all the things close to my culture I haven't had while I was in the Middle East.
Oh
What
wow,
are
yeah,
your plans?
in the Middle East, that would be very, very different. Cool. Yeah.
Your weekend plans? How was it?
Good. Actually, I'm going with my family on some kind of a boat tour. I don't really know what
Nice.
that. And then I'll be doing some yoga on Sunday. So that'll be fun.
Legs up the wall.
So is that the one where I put my hands on the ground and then I walk up and down the
No,
wall?
it's that very simple. It's kind of a rest position, like when you just sit with your butt as close from the wall as you can and put your legs up. But for children, I like to just like pile up some plush toys and see how long they can balance the toys because that makes them stay. Otherwise, they would just be running around.
Oh, you put the toys on their feet?
Yeah, like this picture in the prototype, it's just literally a bunch of plush toys um, piled up. It's a challenge.
That's like a very good stretch though for your hamstrings.
Yeah, and it makes them stay there, just focus on the toys and their breathing, and it's easy mindfulness for kids.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, can't wait to keep working on it next week.
Me neither. Thank you very much. I hope you have a very nice boat tour and weekend in general.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya.